Evaluation question 4. How did you use new media technologies in the construction and research, planning and evaluation stages? First I'm going to start talking about photo booth. Although photo booth wasn't a main part of my production, it helped me in the pre-production and post-production stages of research. I used it for my audience to record their reactions to products, mine or professional products, and to be critical so I could gain the necessary feedback to make my products appeal to them more. It was a simple way for me to set questions for my audience to answer, or on occasion I actually sat with them. We watched a professional trailer together and then commented on what we thought worked well and what didn't. So I watched that before actually creating my own trailer. Next I'm going to talk about GarageBand. I'd never actually used GarageBand prior to A2, as I'd made print products in AS, so it was something that took me a couple of hours to play around with to get the hang of it. I use this in many ways. Firstly, in the preliminary stages, I created a mock soundtrack for a horror film, and this helped me develop the skills I needed for my final product. I used the software and I could use it in many ways, and it was useful as I could watch my trailer being played as I added my sound, so I knew that it matched exactly. I chose different soundtracks, layering them over each other, and experimenting with which sounded best for my genre of psychological thriller. I chose quite low-tone tracks with a sombre feel to create the sense of a mental unravelling of the protagonist. Although I don't feel that GarageBand was actually my strongest point, I feel I've developed a lot from not being able to use it at the beginning of the topic. I've been able to create soundtracks to fit my trailer, so I feel like I've developed quite a lot from not knowing anything. Now we've got Final Cut, and this was again something I'd never used before A2, and it proved to be quite a struggle to get to know my way around it, in all honesty, but it was essential for my editing of my software, of my trailer. Although it was helpful that a lot of my peers around me know how to use it, so they gave me the rundown on that. I'm actually using this to edit this right now, so that's quite helpful. I used it to edit my trailer, and I could cut clips and move them about, reorganise them, and play around with the different settings. For example, I desaturated some shots with the antagonist in to connote anxiety. I also used Final Cut to add in my intertitles. Although I did think that there was other software which would be more effective and look more professional, such as After Effects, I did refilm my entire trailer, so I was limited on time on the editing front, so I just used what I knew how to use rather than trying to learn another skill on some other software to save myself some time. And we've got Photoshop, which is something I actually did use last year, as I did make print products, so I knew how to use this, so I went straight in and made a traditional poster for my film. However, I did make a teaser poster to go alongside it to create more hype and advertisement around my campaign, and I used a different image for this than my main poster, so you could differentiate between them. I created a shadow onto the main image of my poster, so it kind of fit well with the hidden, the name hidden of my campaign, so it tied well in together. I used the lasso tool to go around my main image so it blended well into the background of both my poster and magazine. So it looked as professional as possible rather than just amateurish. I also used Photoshop to create the production company logos for my poster, as well as the BBFC black card that you'd see at the beginning of my trailer. I'd created swatches to enable that there was continuity throughout my campaign by using the same shade of red for my title, along with a font that I downloaded from dafont.com. This leads me on to dafont.com. This website has such an array of fonts to choose from, so this is how I found many of the fonts I used from both my print work. As my film was a hybrid between horror and psychological, I went into the horror section and found a few fonts that I liked before I asked my audience their preference and used the most popular. Now I've got Camtasia. I'd actually never heard of this software before A2 study, and it was introduced to me by a teacher, so they showed me how to use it effectively. I didn't actually use it very much, but I did find that when I did use it, it made the work I did look very professional. I used it for the production company Intertitle at the beginning of my trailer, and I found it relatively easy to understand, and it produced animated opening title, which was similar to that of Paramount and Universal in terms of how they're animated before they as they're shown. And obviously it wasn't as professional as all these companies, but I think that the concept for a film production company was quite believable. And I think that it really benefited my trailer by using this software. Now we've got the camera and tripod. Well, obviously the camera and tripod were essential for constructing my trailer, but I used them in a particular way to evoke anxiety. After watching professional trailers, I'd seen certain shot types which I wanted to recreate, such as The Woman in Black, where the protagonist is stood looking down from a window. These types of shot were easy to replicate, however, they were juxtaposed with traditional high-angle shot, which is one way I diverted from the traditional convention of a horror psychological thriller hybrid film. Next we've got this questionnaire website. I didn't really use this too much, but it was basically just for secondary audience research. I found that it was helpful because I could find exactly what my audience wanted to see within a film campaign, and I could tailor my campaign around them so that they would enjoy it as much as they could. And I embedded the pie chart so I can analyse them on my blog. This leads me on to Blogger. This is probably my most used website over the past 2 years of college, especially A2. Every aspect of my coursework had been added onto Blogger, my research, development, construction and post-production work. I'd even created a blog to record how my skills had developed throughout my coursework topic. I used Blogger as a platform to embed presentations from Prezi and add photos, and could write around them and analyse my findings. I've used this throughout my A2 studies, and it's been successful in allowing me to share, connect and embed media files. Due to converging media technologies, I've been able to use Blogger from an app on my phone on the go to update my blog whenever I had an idea that popped into my mind for my campaign. I would just create a blog post about it. So I feel like I've used Blogger to the best of my ability, and although it's one of the simplest forms of media technologies, it's definitely been the best at recording my findings and how personally my coursework subjects went for me. Now we've got YouTube. YouTube is the most successful media platforms of the moment, and I used YouTube when I wanted to look at professional products during my research. I also used it when I wanted to embed my videos into Prezi, and I actually created a YouTube account to upload my products at each stage of my campaign. This included the sound mix I created on GarageBand, my audience feedback, my rough cut, another improved rough cut, and my final product. As I also had an app for YouTube on my phone, it allowed me to easily access my footage and professional trailers to get inspiration. And lastly, we've got Prezi. I use Prezi mainly for analysing professional products and my evaluations. And it was very much used for evaluation during the coursework, as it helped me to communicate my ideas without being too text heavy, and in some cases I did use a voiceover to talk through my ideas, obviously without there being too much text involved. And it allowed me to navigate through my presentation easily. As you can see here, I've got all my presentations which I've done throughout, some from research and some of which I've done for my evaluations. Although I don't feel like, although I have encountered a lot of new media technologies, I think there was always room for improvement. However, the technologies I have used, I feel like I've really learnt a lot about them, and it's allowed me to make the best product that I possibly can in terms of my campaign.